Number 2, and we have the area of a rectangle. Circle this number. Remember, area of a rectangle. Let's draw a little picture. Rectangle is not a square. It's longer on one side than the other. We know that the area, which is length times width, is 45. Okay. The length of the rectangle is 1 meter more than double the width. So we choose, okay, so the length of the rectangle is 1 more than double the width. So the width is the width. The length is 1 more, double the width. Okay, so that's what the length is going to be. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. So we can set up our equation, length times width. So what we will use for the length is 1 plus 2w times w, the width, is going to give us 45. So we distribute the w through, so we get w plus 2w squared equals 45. Subtract 45 from both sides because we want one side to be equal to 0. I'm going to move the 2w squared to the front, minus 45, and that will be equal to 0. So now we're set up where we can see if we can factor. Again, we can also use the quadratic formula if we wanted to, but let's see factoring. If that works, it'll be maybe smoothest. So 2w, one of these has to be 2w, the other has to be w. That gives us a 2w squared. 45, and notice this is going to be a subtraction problem because it's a 45 here. So we're going to subtract the two numbers. We could think of 45 as 9 times 5. You subtract them, you get 4, but notice what we're going to multiply one of them by 2. So 2 times 9. 2 times 9 is 18 minus 5. That's not close to 1. We're shooting to get the 1 in front. But 2 times 5 is 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. That's the pair of numbers we're going to want. We want the 2 matched up with the 5. The 9 will go over here. Now, since it's negative, one number has to be positive, one has to be negative. So the middle answer, or the middle term, let's see, is a positive. So it's going to be, the one that's bigger is going to need to be positive. The 10 is what we need to be positive. So 2 times positive 5, the 9 needs to be the negative part. So that gives us the negative 45, negative 9 times positive 5, and we'll get a middle term of plus 1, right? Because 2w times 5 is 10w minus 9w, that comes from this part, gives us 1w. Okay, so that all works out. And so now we have 2w minus 9 equals 0, or w plus 5 equals 0. Solving for w, we get plus 9 here. And then divide by 2. 9 halves. That's one of our answers. Here is a little bit faster. W equals negative 5. So those are the two answers, and let's see which one's the width, which one's the length. Well, oh, okay. Wake up here. Can we have a negative width? So we got an answer here, but nah, it doesn't really work, right? Because the width can't be negative. So this is going to be our width. We'll put that right in here. 9 halves. And then to get the length, we are going to come back up here and use this formula that the length is 1 plus 2 times the width. And it's kind of nice that it's a 9/2 because 2 divided by 2, right, these are going to cancel each other out. We're going to get 1 plus 9 is what the length is. So the length is going to be 10. And then that way everything works out. And again, you could always kind of see what's going to work. We could graph this part if we forgot how to, or if we weren't able to factor it, which can happen, right? Because sometimes these are a little harder when it's not a coefficient of 1 in front. So again, I'll just do this. If you're good, you can move on. So we could graph this as 2x squared plus x 1x minus 45. And we'll do a zoom standard. We see crossing at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's the -5. And we 2/9, if you do that, that's 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5 is where it's crossing. And again, we could actually find it if we needed to, but we're just doing this as a verification. Okay, and I'll show you. You could go second calc, and we want to find the 0. It's a little complicated. You need a left bound. Where is it? It's at 0, -45. So our cursor is way down here. I'm going to move it to the right, and notice it's coming closer. There it is. This is to the left of the intersection, so I'll hit enter. And I go to the right of where it is going to cross the x-axis. And I hit enter, 4.50. So that's 9/2. Okay, and so we continue on with this one, and we'll do the next.